are back here on the Choose954 podcast, episode 44, with local artist and Broward County native Martine Colette from the beautiful Art Trax Cooperative Artist Studio space here in FATVillage. If you didn't know about Choose954, we started a social movement to cultivate culture and community here in Broward County, where we're both from, in an effort to keep people in the know with all the great things that are going on and make this a better place to live and not just a better place to vacation. The point of the podcast is to connect you, amazing people like her, doing incredible things in the community so you can hopefully be a part of them, and we'll have a few opportunities for you to be a part of them this weekend. This podcast is sponsored by the Thousand Mermaids Artificial Reef Project, creating artistically crafted artificial reef modules to help save the natural reefs, raise awareness, create ecotourism, and do a lot of other great things. You can find out more at 1000mermaids.com. That's the number 1000mermaids.com. Thankfully, we have a beautiful mermaid here. But without much further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about Miss Martine Colette?
So, I'm Martine. I do art here in FATVillage. I was born and raised here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, so I'm a native all the way through.
Awesome.
I definitely, I love being part of the local art scene, and I love being here in Art Trax.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a great way to be able to connect with the community and show my art during art walks.
That's how we connected.
Yeah, exactly.
By just,
connect you at art walks.
yeah, just coming in here.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. How did you initially get into art?
So I've always been into art. Even when I was little, I was always the artist of the family. But I thought I was going to pursue art when I was in high school. Kind of got dissuaded from that. Ended up going to FSU. Go Knowles. For 2 years, I did biology, and just wasn't happy doing it. I wanted to be creative. I wanted to do art. So decided just to change my major. Told everyone afterwards, and did my last 2, maybe almost 3 years doing art there and trying out all the different mediums, and had a great time. Honestly, I think it was the best decision for me. So.
Do you still keep in touch with any professors, students, friends?
Yeah, definitely. I have a lot of, most of my best friends I met up there, and a lot of my friends are artists or creatives, and it's definitely nice to keep in contact.
Awesome. So we have a few pieces here that those that are watching on the video replay can see. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your style?
So I try to go for more semi-realism, realistic art, but I also want to add, a playfulness, lots of color and vibrant, and I think that my art is kind of not ethereal, but very this kind of surreal, depending on how I'm feeling. I love figures and I love animals, so I incorporate that in a lot of my work. But most of my stuff is inspired by just things that I think are attractive, or that I want to make beautiful things. So I try to focus on beautiful subjects and also just things that I like.
Dogs.
Mermaids.
Yeah. This is lovely, and this is not the first mermaid that you painted.
No, I did one for you at YOLO. That was a great time.
Yes, that was. So for those that aren't familiar with Art Trax, because I think you're the first person that I've interviewed from Art Trax, tell us a little bit about this space that we're in.
So Art Trax here in FATVillage is a studio gallery space. There's 7 artists. Actually, there's 8 with 2 sharing a studio. So there's 8 of us in here, and we take turns curating the front gallery space for art walks. We can either rent out the space to other local artists, or we can do our little showcase ourselves. And that's what I usually like to do, because it's a good opportunity to not only display my art, but also I get to do installations and stuff that I normally don't get to do.
Which, as you can see, we have a phenomenal installation here. I'm gonna pan and tilt the camera a little bit. So tell us a little bit about what we are sitting in right now.
So still in progress. I have a week to finish up creating a kind of vintage motel vibe. I wanted to capture like a very almost like mundane, nostalgic Florida summer, but at the same time, you know, it's like summertime sadness, but also just very like, you know, a memory of a place maybe you've never been or wish you were here. Yeah.
And two-prong, who are some of your inspirations in like art in general, and then who were some of the inspirations or thoughts behind like this installation?
So in general, I think some of my favorite artists are like I love Chuck Close, Marilyn Minter, Audrey Kawasaki, Charmaine Olivia. I mean, I'm inspired by tons of artists every day, all the time, but definitely have some favorites. I even really like Damien Hirst's work. I know it's kind of controversial, but I love all sorts of art. And I think this particular installation, this particular installation, I was more so inspired by like music, and that being like, you know, the Lana Del Rey Summertime Sadness or Hotel California with the Eagles, or just kind of just a vibe of like very kind of nostalgic, but also kind of just not dreary, but not dreary, yeah, but kind of something like it wouldn't be our ideal summer, but it's still beautiful. It's still a memory. It's still.
It is. Yeah. This really, and those of you that grew up in South Florida, this definitely has remnants of my childhood growing up. And those like mid-century modern hotel motels on like Biscayne Boulevard in Miami. But you put so much thought and effort. I was blown away when I came in here, even to this hand-painted pool rules sign, and the towels and the chair. I don't know if you could even see. I'll pan it back down again. There's lovely fake AstroTurf in here, with the pool and the flamingos. So kudos to you. This is really great.
I really wanted to capture like the Florida vibe here. So.
No, you definitely did. And then, so you have pieces in here. So this is like the common gallery space.
Yeah, this is the gallery space for our studios.
And then, so she also has her own studio in here where she has more work as well, so you'll be able to see both.
Yeah.
So you can find out and experience this for yourself. Meet Martine, take photos. It's very Instagrammable. This Saturday, July 27th, the last Saturday night of every month, is the art walk in Fort Lauderdale, in Flagler Village, which encompasses FATVillage and Mass District, from 6 to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And we will be leading our monthly tour of the art walk, which we alternate each month between Mass District and FATVillage because it's a lot to take in. So this month we'll be leading the tour here, which I'm very glad, so we can bring people by here. I decided, having built relationships with artists like Martine and Cheryl Brown and a lot of the other resident artists, that I'd rather connect you guys with the local artists that make the arts districts great, and help share their stories and connect you guys and engage you guys and hopefully get them some more collectors, supporters, followers. So it starts at 6 p.m. We're going to meet at the barbershop at the end of the block, Nobleman's Cut and Shave. I do ask for a donation just to cover my time and putting it on meetup.com and running Facebook ads and all the other things that we do just to cover those costs. If you do, we appreciate it. If not, it's not the end of the world. But that'll be at 6 p.m. You can just type in Choose954 guided tour of the art walk. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We will get Mrs. Cheryl Brown on the podcast soon and some of the other resident artists. But it's a really different thing. When you go to the art walk, you just walk around and you look, like that's fine and there's nothing wrong with looking. When you get to meet the artists, hear their stories, hear about their craft, their passion, their creative outlet, I mean, it's I mean, it's done wonders with our friendship, from having met you to getting you involved to, Paint at YOLO and other opportunities that we've discussed, and now doing this podcast and having you join the Artist Potluck. So you never know unless you go, connect, engage, and have that conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Art Walk, having grown up here, and now that you're a resident artist in FATVillage? What are your thoughts on Art Walk as an artist?
I think it's a really great thing. I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't really have, this wasn't a big art district or art scene at all. I mean, we had to go to Wynwood or whatever, and now we kind of have this growing, awesome little local art population, and it's really awesome to be able to connect with the public and have, people who, your everyday citizens here just come check out the art and what's actually happening in South Florida or the Fort Lauderdale art scene, which is, I think that Art Walk is making it thrive, and so
it has. And I'll say it, we've said it before, I'll say it again. It's not the development that made FATVillage great and Mass District great. It's the artists that made the arts districts great. And yes, we know that there's developments and things are changing, and we won't get into gentrification and all that, but don't discredit the hard work that talented artists like Martine and Julio Green and Francisco and Mario and everybody else in between have put in to really cultivate something special here in FATVillage, in Flagler Village, in downtown Fort Lauderdale. So I give you a lot of credit and kudos. This is not easy, and you should be rewarded, and hopefully we'll bring some more people by, which we will. What's next for you? What could people reach out to engage you for? What are you interested in doing?
Well, currently, I do a lot of, commissions and mostly pet portraits. So if anyone wants a pet portrait, I am here for that. But I also, in the future, I would love to have, maybe a bigger studio space, my own gallery space. I'd love to be able to work with the public by having art classes or doing, special events and stuff like that. So hopefully in the future, near future, that could be a possibility for me. But definitely, I want to keep making art, keep making beautiful things for people, and that's the goal, really. Just make things that will outlive me.
Amen. And this mermaid is eternal. She will live forever. This is a great canvas, by the way. So that leads me to mention, there are only so many artist studios here in FATVillage. I mean, I guess you have 8 here.
Yeah.
You have, Julio, Francisco, Mario, Yvette Michelle, and a few others, Judith Schwab over there. And I guess you have the Garage 22, and then you have the Far Gallery, which is more of a gallery. Then you have the Project Space, and then you have Arts Up. But there really aren't that many studios here. So that led myself and my partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, to realize there was a few issues that are affecting the landscape here in Fort Lauderdale and Broward County, one of which there is a lack of studio space, let alone safe, affordable studio space, yet there are vacant spaces that are either tied up in a buy and hold, they're tied up in a permitting process, they're just tough to rent or lease, they're priced however they're priced. So we like to view art as a problem solver. And we decided to come up with an initiative to activate vacant space, commercial space, and make it safe, affordable artist studios. We're calling it Zero Empty Spaces. We're making it available at $2 per square foot for the artists, and that includes the water, electricity, and the insurance. That also includes us marketing it, programming it, doing public relations, press releases, getting artists on NPR and WLRN and stuff like that. And this is in an effort to further our mission of establishing Broward County and Fort Lauderdale as a destination, not just for the public to view and interact with art, but for artists to be able to live, work, and create. Because it would be really unfortunate if Martine wasn't able to pursue her craft and creative outlet because she didn't have space, and either not everybody can create in their house, or not everybody, has ample amounts of space, or, some people really need a big space to be able to create. So if you're an artist that's interested in safe, affordable artist studio spaces as part of this project, you can log on to zeroemptyspaces.com, email us at info@zeroemptyspaces. If you have a vacant space, or somebody has a vacant space, maybe they've had a space they can't lease for whatever reason, that's what we want. We'll take it, we'll activate it. We don't charge them anything. We market it, we build it out, we do all that. So it's just another one of our initiatives alongside Choose954 and Art Fort Lauderdale to really help the arts and culture here in Broward County. So that's where you can find us. Where can they find you on the social medias and the interwebs?
So you can find me on Instagram at Martine_Colette. And also I have a website, www.martinecolette.net. Right.
That it does. I'm glad you didn't do the .com. Or MARTINE.
COLETTE.
Okay, good. I was gonna spell it wrong. So you can find Martine this Saturday, July 27th, and every last Saturday night of the month here in the FATVillage Art Walk. A couple other things you can find if you found the Zero Empty Spaces concept interesting. Our grand opening is Thursday, August the 1st at our first location on Las Olas, 914 East Las Olas Boulevard. It's the former New River Fine Art Gallery, Aspen Gallery. It's right next to Cafe Europa. You won't miss it. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be from 7 to 9. We're going to have ribbon cutting at 7:30, opening remarks at 8. It's a free event. We just ask that you RSVP so we can plan accordingly. You just type in Zero Empty Spaces grand opening. The following week, we're really excited. As part of having these spaces, we want to activate them and open them up to the public to have more people connect and engage. So we're glad to host our next AAF Creative Zen event in our Zero Empty Space location. AAF Creative Zen is a monthly breakfast lecture series. It's a mini TED Talk. We're bringing a speaker that has a thought-provoking, inspiring story. It's a free event to connect, engage, and inspire our creative community one Friday morning a month. This space could actually work. Yeah. And our next speaker is brilliant, Dr. Hacky Reitman. He was a former boxer, surgeon, filmmaker, startup founder, speaker, author, lecturer, curing epilepsy, and doing a lot of interesting things. So he's brilliant, very highly regarded. That's Friday, August the 9th. The doors open at 8:30. The talk starts at 9. You're out of there by 10. It's free, coffee and breakfast provided. The night before that, the second Thursday night of the month, is a great event that we are very proud to support, Raw Storytelling, True Stories Untold. It's our version of the moth. Our dear friend Eden Velasco of Witchcraft Branding puts it together. It's at a coffee shop in downtown Fort Lauderdale. You can find out more at rawstorytelling.org. She's always looking for more speakers. And Martine mentioned she participated in the Choose954 Local Artist Discovery Series, live art pop-up at YOLO. We're still doing that. We give the artists a canvas, easel, table. We don't charge them, we don't take a cut of their work. We market it, we make a flyer, give them a food tab, promote it. And it's in an effort to connect someone like her with a downtown YOLO Las Olas crowd that might not come to Art Walk. So how would they discover her otherwise? So we bring local artists like Martine to YOLO, to downtown Las Olas, to downtown Fort Lauderdale. Every Wednesday night is part of the ladies' night, ladies drink free. We've been doing that every week for the last 125 consecutive weeks. We plan on doing it for another 125 consecutive weeks. If you know a local artist that you want to get some love, there's no minimum or maximum requirement. She made a piece very similar to this. It was a mermaid. It wasn't this mermaid, but it was very similar to this. It's getting photographed right now. But by all means, we're glad to have any artist participate. And if you're an artist that you'd like to connect with other artists, we're very, very excited to host our second Choose954 Artist Potluck. It's going to take place the last Sunday night of the month after the Art Walk. We are trying to keep it to artists only. Please just to connect and engage artists to share ideas, struggles, brainstorm, collaborate, network. Some really great things have come out of that. Next one's at the History of Fort Lauderdale Museum, so it's the night after Art Walk. You do ask that you RSVP because space is limited and indicate which dish you're going to bring because it is a potluck. So that's pretty much that. I'm going to jump in this pool here, and we hope to see you at the Art Walk. We hope that you choose 954 and save the reefs, y'all. Have a good one.